This is it, people. This is what you've been waiting for. This is Everyday Celebrity Podcast. The podcast for everyday people with everyday problems, trying to find everyday solutions to accomplish everyday goals. Let's start the show. You. Yo, this is another episode of Everyday Celebrity Podcast. Today, I know it's been a minute. I've been out. It's been the holidays, but forgive me. Today, I have a special guest. I have a world traveler, a famous world traveler that's been around the world in 1 year. That's what he's famous for. Anywhere you can think of, he's literally been. And we're going to dig deep into his life, how he became so interested in world travel, you know what I'm saying, all of the bitches that he smashed overseas. So his name is Volkan. Volkan, welcome to Everyday Celebrity Podcast.
Thank you for having me. Thanks for the introduction.
And speak into the mic and speak louder.
Okay. Glad to be on the show. It's been an honor, and I've been listening to your podcast like overseas while doing this 3-week trip, and it was good to hear a lot of people that had different views on Burning Man and real estate and such. So yes, it's good to hear that.
I do have the #1 podcast in the Bay Area, everybody. But anyways, you just came back from overseas, right? Where were you?
I went to Vietnam, Thailand, Cambodia, and Myanmar.
That's a lot of places for the dumb people who don't know where those places are. Where the fuck? Is that Asia?
That's in Southeast Asia, yeah.
Okay. And you were just there to just like for vacation?
Yeah, so I'd done Bali, Indonesia, Hong Kong, Malaysia, and Singapore. So I was just like, November is a good time to go to Southeast Asia because it's not as hot. So it's a good time to go. And then, Veterans Day and Thanksgiving in November. So I just took 3 weeks off and then just wanted to hit those countries up.
All right, so let's start from the beginning of your life.
Sure.
You are from New York, correct?
Yep, Western New York.
Western New York?
Yeah.
What's that, like Syracuse or something?
Near Syracuse is Rochester, New York.
So it's in the suburbs? The outskirts?
It's a city, but it's got its own suburbs.
Okay.
So I'm sure like Philadelphia, like what are the suburbs in Philly?
I mean, there is no suburbs in Philly.
Oh, really? Okay.
Philly is like all...
It's just Philly?
Just Philly. There's literally no good parts of Philly. I mean, it's all like, whatever.
Okay.
But anyways, so New York, how long were you went to school in New York?
Yeah, so, born and raised in Rochester. They gave me the full scholarship to go to NYU. So I went over there for soccer. So I've mostly been in New York State my whole life.
Wait a minute, you got a soccer scholarship?
Yeah.
At NYU?
NYU. You're not supposed to get a scholarship for D3, but it's like politics.
D3's NYU?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
What is NYU known for? Like science
academics,
or some shit?
Yeah, academics, like especially film. Philip Seymour Hoffman, all these like directors and.
Is that where Hillary Clinton's daughter went?
I'm not sure. I know the Olsen twins went over there.
When you were in school?
No. Well, I think they're a little bit older than me, so I'm not sure if I don't know.
Okay. So you went to NYU. What did you study there?
I studied physics.
Physics?
Yep. And then right out of college, tried to stay in New York, but it's kind of tough with the physics degree over there. It's mostly like finance over there.
What kind of jobs can you get in physics?
Like basically any engineering jobs. Uh-huh. So they utilize physics to do engineering. So what I did was I worked at Alstom, which makes commuter trains in France. So that's the first job I got out the bat. And then after that, after 3 years, I got a job with General Electric making locomotives. So it's still trains. And
This is in New York?
this is in Pennsylvania, in Erie.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, but close. It was like 2.5 hours away from Rochester, so I would go back home every weekend.
So, what was the last job that you had before you moved to California?
That was at GE, and then Bay Area Rapid Transit contacted me on LinkedIn, and then they're like, "We want you
were
to
living in Pennsylvania,
right?" And then they're like, "We want you to apply for the position over here because Bart works with GE and Alstom for their train control communication systems. So because I worked with those two companies before, that's how they contacted me on LinkedIn, which is rare because they're really only supposed to like go at people in California because it's a government position. So
Bart, if you're listening to this, fuck you. For not hiring the motherfuckers that were down the street, going all the way to New York and grabbing this motherfucker.
My bad.
But anyway, I applied for Bart a grip of times.
Yeah, you told me that.
Yeah, fuck Bart. Anyway, so they contacted you off LinkedIn.
Yep.
And were you not happy at that spot?
I was happy because I was close to home in Rochester, so only 2 hours away. But I didn't like my manager. I didn't like the company. Like GE is known for like rack and stack, so they rank employees from top to bottom. So I didn't like the whole company culture over there. And then at that moment,
what do you mean rank? What is that, like union? Like
no, so
seniority?
You got like the middle 80% getting the usual 3% raise, right, or 2% raise. You got the top 10% getting a 7% raise, and then if you're at the bottom 10%, you're just gonna either get let go or like on probation. So it just creates competition between like your colleagues and coworkers. Not really a good environment to work in.
Okay.
So
they contacted you and you were like,
yeah.
Were you even thinking about leaving before they contacted you?
Oh yeah, it was about a year. I was trying to leave, but I couldn't leave because they gave me relocation money because I had a house. So if I left within 2 years, I had to pay back a bunch of money, $31,000. So there's no incentive for me to like leave that. So I had to stick it out and then, hope something comes through like later on. And it did. And then it was like Bay Area Rapid Transit. I thought they were in San Francisco. And then I'm like, I've already been there traveling.
So you've been to California before?
Yeah, I traveled. I've been to San Francisco, and I actually collected one of the BART cards because I collect the transit cards when I travel. So BART was actually one of the tickets I collected. And then they're like, no, we're in Oakland. And then they did a phone interview. And then after the phone interview, you're supposed to do an on-site interview. But they're like, since you passed the test and then we like the interview, we're just going to offer you the job right now. So I'm just like, okay. I told my parents, I'm like, hey, I'm going to California.
What'd they say?
They looked at the benefits and they're like, there's no way you're coming back to New York because, it's a government position. So it's like one of the few companies that does like a pension and you get overtime like for vacation and pay and all that stuff. So it's like, I'm definitely going to be here until I retire. So
what's your position at BART?
I'm a train control engineer, which is what I've been working on at GE and pretty much at Alstom.
So what exactly do you do?
Train control engineer. So we got a bunch of stuff that we work on, issues from the past because our system's about 60 years old, from the 60s and 70s. So a lot of the equipment that we put in service back then, we have like old ass parts or non-existent ones that sometimes we have to go to eBay and buy. And then, we got to fix those issues, maintenance, if a train's not getting speed codes or whatever. So there's the maintenance aspect, and then there's current issues that we're facing where we're updating procedures we're changing speed codes where a train, instead of getting a 36 miles per hour, it would get an 18 miles per hour just for a little bit more safety. So that's a whole, different job of just like changing.
So the people who don't know what the fuck you're talking about, you're basically doing what Denzel Washington was doing in that movie. What's that movie?
I didn't watch that movie. What's that?
Pelham 1, 2, 3.
I didn't see that one.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
No.
Anyway. All right, so you came here.
Yep.
And did you move, when you moved here, did you move to Oakland or San Francisco?
I really wanted to do San Francisco first because I knew if I moved to Oakland, I don't think I would have went to San Francisco afterwards. And like, I mean,
why did you want to move to San Francisco? Just to say you lived there?
No, not to say I lived there, but it's the only thing I never been to Oakland. So I got hired. I'm like, I don't know how, and you know what? Like people hear about it. It's like, oh, Oakland's like dangerous, and it's like really nothing different from Harlem or Rochester. It's really not that. It's not as bad as it once was. So I'm not sure if you could say that with Philadelphia. Like Philadelphia is it better now? Probably a little bit.
I haven't went back in years, but it's more like Oakland than San Francisco. I know that.
Right. So, but that's what I learned to, like, out of all, like, probably like 150 cities I visited, I'd say Oakland, California is like my favorite city to live in, just because of the weather's better than San Francisco. It's less foggy. We get more sunnier days. It's more diverse. I don't even think San Francisco is like that diverse, to be honest.
Yeah.
So, and you just see this just by living in the East Bay. So, the Mexican food I think is better in the East Bay. Just a bunch of cool shit. So.
All right, so you touched down in Oakland, settled your feet and shit. Where was the first place that you traveled once you moved here?
Where was the first place that I traveled? I think I went to New Mexico. I did the White Sands National Park. It's where Boyz II Men filmed that one music video.
Yeah.
I didn't go because of that, but it was just like really close. And the thing with joining BART, you're on probation for 6 months, so you can't travel. And this was like depressing for me. Like I couldn't travel for 6 months. So like that was a hard time for me. But once that 6 months like filled up, I'm like, I'm gonna go I'm gonna go to Brazil and all that stuff. So
all right, so let's start talking about your travel. So when you were growing up as a young kid, did your family travel a lot?
No, not far from it. We used to go to Turkey every year.
That's where your family's from?
Yeah. And then most Turkish Americans, they just go back to Turkey every year, maybe even twice. It's just, some of them have family back home, but my immediate family is in New York, so I don't have to worry about that too much. But like, they definitely didn't inspire like going to Asia or like Africa or whatever. Like they're like, what are you doing?
So where was the first place that you traveled overseas? Ever?
Barcelona. And that's where you came back from, right?
Yeah. I just came back from Barcelona.
Barcelona was my first.
And how was that for you?
It was good. It was my first time traveling, and then I did Barcelona and Madrid. And then that's when I figured out, like, I only like spending 3 days in a city. Anything less, you can't really see a city. Anything more, I get like all like antsy, and I'm like, I need to get out of here type thing. So that's what I figured out from my first travel. 3 days in Barcelona, 3 days in Madrid. And then I think that was my first trip.
How old were you when you went to Barcelona?
I think I was 25. That's when the whole travel thing started.
When you started traveling?
Yeah, 25.
And what is the reason for you to travel to so many places?
My first goal coming out of college was to just buy a shitty car. I got a Ford Focus for $4,000, and I'm like, I want to save enough money to buy a house and rent out all the rooms while living in it. So, that was the main goal, and I'm like, I did that, and now I don't have to pay for living expenses. What can I do with what can I do with this money that, I'm saving up and stuff. So my first tenant, his name is Mark Seymour. He's from England, and he had all these. He moved in, and he had all these like cool photos of like him traveling in England and Iceland.
This is your house in New York?
Yeah, in Rochester. So he had all these photos, and I'm like, I've only been to Turkey and Canada, and Canada's like only 3 hours away.
Yeah.
So, and before that I was in a long-term relationship, so I didn't really get a chance to travel.
Do you want to?
What's up?
Shout out the girl that you're talking about?
I'm not gonna shout out to the girl.
Listen, on this show you can't mention people if you don't shout them out. This is like a therapy. So what's the bitch name?
Her name's Gina.
Gina what?
You want her social security number too?
All right, anyway. Well, shout out to Gina.
Shout out to Gina.
Come on the show.
Come on. She's actually an hour away from here too as well.
Is she?
Yeah. Well, we haven't spoken in like...
How do you know she's an hour away then?
She's from Northern California.
So you still like look at her Facebook from time to time?
No, I don't know.
Yeah. All right, anyway. Continue your story.
So just bought the house. I got all this money. I'm like, I've only been to Turkey and Canada. I haven't traveled anywhere. And I'm just like, you know what? I'm just going to try Barcelona, Madrid. So that was just like a life-changing experience because of like the people you would meet.
Yeah.
Like it's not even about, I mean, Barcelona is like crazy. It's a Sagrada Familia, and then it's kind of unfortunate doing Barcelona first because you see the best church, in my opinion, is Sagrada Familia. Anything you're going to see after that is just going to be a downgrade. And then they got the biggest soccer stadium in Europe. It's Camp Nou, which is like 99,000. Mm-hmm. So any other stadium that you see after that is just going to be a downgrade. So, but apart from that, like just the people, meeting people, and how friendly people are and stuff. So,
tell me an experience what was the worst experience that you had in Barcelona?
I don't think I had a bad experience in Barcelona.
What's the best experience?
In Barcelona?
Yes.
The Sagrada Familia.
When you went there?
Yeah. Inside is like crazy. Like it's the most ridiculous thing I've seen. And it's not even finished. It's going to be finished in like 2050 or 2060.
Is Barcelona and Madrid, is it a big difference?
I mean, most European cities you get just, typical museum, typical church, good food. That's why I wanted to take some time apart from Europe and go to like places like Africa and Asia. It's a little bit more different. So I only go to Europe when I go see my team play. But apart from that, it's my soccer team that I follow pretty religiously.
What team is that?
They're called Galatasaray. They play in Turkey. So
nice. Sound like they suck. Are they good?
They're not bad. They sucked this year, kind of.
All right, so you say you went to Africa.
Yep.
Where?
I did Cape Town and Zambia. It was like the most fun I had, like out of all the travels.
When was this?
This was 2016.
Cape Town and what?
Cape Town and Zambia.
Where's Zambia at?
Zambia is next to South Africa, pretty much. Okay. Next to Zimbabwe.
So what was that experience like?
Cape Town, I did shark cage diving, which is pretty. Would you do that? You're in a cage.
Did you actually see sharks?
Oh yeah, and like the visibility was only 3 feet.
Like small sharks or like the big?
No, the big ones.
Big sharks.
Big sharks.
How deep were you?
No, you're just like you're in a cage right below.
Yeah, well, I know that, but how deep do you go?
You don't go deep. You're like right below the boat. So, anyways, the visibility is like 3 feet. So, like you can't see the ocean. You don't see anything in the ocean.
Uh-huh.
So when you do see the shark, it's like right in front of your face. So I don't know. Some people, I'd rather prefer that than.
Did you get scared?
Nah, it's not that bad. I thought it was gonna be worse than that, but it's not that bad. I didn't go in first. I'm like, I'm not going in first, and then I just went in more than once. So there's shark cage diving, and then I'd walk with a lion. Lion's my favorite animal, so that was like a dream come true type thing. I felt like I was in Lion King or whatever. and then I did Devil's Pool in Zimbabwe, Zambia, at Victoria Falls. So that's definitely an experience.
Is that like a lot of people think of Africa like what they see on TV, like kids with their ribs and shit showing, like flies flying on them. Is that a misconception?
South Africa probably is not like that. It's pretty, you got like restaurants and stuff over there. If you go to Ethiopia or Sudan, probably. I mean, Africa.
But the places you went was not like that.
No. But it was weird because when I went to Zimbabwe, I touched down in Zimbabwe. It was weird. I've never been to a place where I'm the only physically white person in the whole city. So it was just like...
What, you thought Zimbabwe was going to be full of Irish motherfuckers?
No, not even that. It's just like I wasn't... I've never been in that situation before. I mean, I lived in East Flatbush, but you have some white people over there.
Yeah.
But I've never been to a spot where it was just like all Africans. There's no white person around. It's just like a weird... I just couldn't register it because I've never been in that scenario.
You felt uncomfortable?
No, I didn't feel uncomfortable. It was just like a different scenario, So I didn't feel like dangerous or anything like that. Like I wasn't scared. It was just different. Much like when I was in Asia, they grab their drinks and like go on the street and drink. Like if you ask me to do that, I'm like, I feel like I'm gonna get kicked out or something. Your body just doesn't register it.
How long did you stay in Africa?
I think I did a week over there. So
is it cheap?
Cape Town is pretty expensive. Okay. Zimbabwe, not so much.
So tell the people all the places you've ever been.
Jeez. I did mostly Europe, all the big countries in Europe. So France, Italy, Spain, Portugal, Turkey, Iceland for the Northern Lights, Ireland, England. So that's Europe, pretty much all the big ones. I'm saving Amsterdam. You've been? I think you've been to Amsterdam.
Yeah, I've been to Amsterdam. You never been to Amsterdam?
No, I'm saving it until my team plays a match over there. So I'm saving that. I could have went there instead of Ireland, but Ireland, there's no chance for us to play a team in Ireland, so I just wanted to go there instead. So Africa was South Africa and Zimbabwe. I did the road trip cross country from New York to San Francisco. That was... I definitely recommend that. That's really nice during the summer.
The road trip? There's an actual... What's the freeway that you take?
I took 90.
It goes all the way?
No, it stops in Montana, and then I did Montana, did Yellowstone Park, and then it's unfair how money, like Utah, like they have like 5 parks that you could just like go and check out.
Nice. And
then Vegas, and then the hottest place in the world, Death Valley. It gets like 130 degrees over there. And then just went out to Yosemite, and then went to Oakland. I did the major cities in Canada, Vancouver, Toronto, Quebec City, Montreal, Banff, Mexico City. I did pretty much all the countries in South America except for Venezuela, Paraguay, and Uruguay. I did Australia, and then those countries I mentioned in Asia. Vietnam, Cambodia. Thailand. I'm going back in November, by the way, if you want to join. What else?
I might fuck with you, though.
Yeah. Anyway, everyone's invited to listen to the podcast, by the way. So it's going to be more of a party thing. So I missed the festival while I was over there. So
what festival?
It's called the Yipeng Festival.
So when you go to all these places, are you like send back like researching like, oh, where should I go this month, and like that's how you decide? Or
so there's a couple of sources I check to see what do I want to do in Thailand or Cambodia or Vietnam, how many days I want to spend there. So those are the 2 main questions, right? So for me to see what I want to do, I check TripAdvisor, Atlas Obscura. It's a website. It's just like stuff they won't show you on TripAdvisor, like weirder stuff.
TripAdvisor, if you're listening, sponsor the Everyday Celebrity Podcast.
Yeah.
All right, continue.
Atlas Obscura, and then I check a Reddit too as well because they mention like what good experiences they had and stuff, and it's like voted. So that, and then allocate 3 days for a given city, and then I just buy the tickets. This 3-week trip, it took about a month and a half just to plan and stuff like that. So it took a lot of planning. So, and I was like traveled out before I even went on the trip because I just went to Ireland and Belgium, and I just went back home for Halloween. So I got back and I'm like, shit, I got to do another 3-week trip. So I'm just like completely like burned out. I don't even think about traveling.
So when you travel to these places,
yeah,
give people who've never like traveled, right? Like a person who's taking their first trip to another country, what advice would you give that person? What's like the first thing they should do?
A couple of advices. What should I tell you? I mean, just research what you want to do. I could tell you what to do, but maybe you're not into shark cage diving. So, which is why most of the time, like I travel solo. People are more than welcome to come around, but when I go on a trip, I'm doing what I want to do. It might be different from what you want to do. So you might want to go out more, enjoy the nightlife. I don't really allocate too much time. I'm just like too tired for like to go out. But like if I'm traveling to another country, the day after I'll go out the night before, just because I'm not doing anything.
So you normally travel alone?
Yeah.
And you recommend solo travel?
I recommend it once. So
what's the pros and the cons of traveling solo to you?
Well, it depends on your personality. So if you feel bad about going to a restaurant by yourself, which some people are, like you're not gonna have a good time. But me, I could go to, I don't know about you, but like I could go to a restaurant by myself. I won't feel bad about it. But some people are just can't do it. There's too much anxiety. Mm-hmm. So yeah, the con is, I lost my debit card while on the Southeast Asia trip. So I wasn't able to pull out any money. And that's definitely like a con. Like if shit happens, you're by yourself in Bangkok.
How did you work that out?
So I go up to pull more money with my debit card. I only have $50. This is day 2 of week 3. Yeah. I try to put my debit card in the ATM. I'm like, shit, I don't have a debit card. Mm. So I'm like, okay. I check my Airbnb. I can't find it. So I'm like, okay, let me use my credit card to pull out money. So I don't know if you know this. If you take out money with your credit card, they charge 26%.
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you done it before?
Unfortunately, I have, yeah.
So that's probably why I know. So I try to use my credit card. The ATM is asking for a PIN code.
Yeah, you don't have, you got to request a PIN code for the credit card. And
so I'm like,
you didn't do that?
No.
Okay.
Well, why would I?
So how the fuck would you, how did you think you were going to pull out money without a PIN card?
I never tried using a credit card, so I'm like, I tried using my debit card PIN for the credit card, and it's like, no, it's not working. I'm like, I probably didn't set this shit up.
Yeah.
So I go back to the Airbnb, I call Chase, and I'm like, hey, can you guys, and this is in Bangkok, can you guys set up a PIN code for my credit card? And they're like, yeah, sure. It'll take about a week, and we'll email you the forms to your Oakland address. And I'm like, well, that's not going to do me any good in Bangkok, right? So now I got no debit card to pull out money. I can't use my credit card, and I have $50 for 3 weeks.
Why can't you use your credit card?
Because I need a PIN code.
No, but you can still swipe your shit on
right. But I mean,
purchases.
Most places in Southeast Asia, they don't accept card.
Okay.
So you need cash.
Don't tell me you were
A lady boy?
yeah, don't tell me you were selling that ass.
No. So what happened was when I lost my debit card, I didn't cancel the card. I locked it. Mm-hmm. So this case, if I found the debit card, I'm able to unlock the card and use it. So the debit card is locked. So I'm like, okay, well, let me think this. I was like, this is the worst time, like, in my life. I've never felt like I got all this, like, this money in my bank. I can't have any access to it. So just like the scariest moment of, like, not only the trip but my life, like, completely, like, powerless. So I'm like, wait, hold on, like, my debit card's tied to my PayPal. So I'm like, let me try to like wire someone money. But I'm like, who do I know in Bangkok that I could just like go and like give money to, you know? So I'm like, wait, hold on. I'm in an Airbnb. Let me try my Airbnb host. So, and then the way the Airbnb is, like, I self-checked in, so I don't know who my host is. But there's a door right next to me. It's called Office. So I just went in, and then I'm like, hey, how's it going? I'm Volkan. There's a woman over there. I'm one of the new Airbnb guests. And she's like, hey, how's it going? Welcome to the Airbnb. How can I help you? And I'm like, well, can I wire you $1,000 and you could like take that money out of the bank, please? Yeah. And then she thought about it. She's like, yeah, okay. So she probably had it.
This is a Vietnamese woman?
This is in Thailand. So
this is Thailand.
Yeah, so she's a Thai woman.
Okay.
So shout out to Yemi. That's her name. So I was like, do you have PayPal? And she's like, yeah. I'm like, you have PayPal in Thailand?
Yemi up to something.
So Yemi has an eBay account, so she uses PayPal for that. Mm. So I was able to wire her, unlock the card, and then give her $1,000. And then that day I got $1,000 in Thai money. So
she pulled it out?
Yeah. And then if I canceled the card, I wouldn't have able to do that. So. Yeah.
Did you break her off a little?
Yeah, I
20 baht. What was that shit called?
Baht? Yeah, I gave her. Yeah, you know that.
Rush hour.
Yeah, so I gave her about like $20 just for helping out and stuff. So, and then I had to pay $50 for the PayPal fee, which wasn't not that big of a deal. I'd rather do that than just have $50 for 3 weeks.
So you had to stretch that $1,000 the rest of the trip.
I mean, everything was pre-booked, like the flights, Airbnbs, tours. Mm. So I could use that. Like, I used most of it, but not all of it. But I needed that money.
So when you go to these places, do you experience the party scene?
Yeah.
What was the wildest place as far as partying to you?
I'd say Rio de Janeiro, just because, it's pretty obvious answer.
I can't concur. So what happened in Rio?
I was on a solo trip over there too as well, and then what ended up happening over there? No, there was a street festival, and then they're serving food. It's like First Friday block party. Mm. Everyone was just dancing, eating, drinking on the street. Mm. And then most of the people over there, they don't really know English too well. And then I was just observing the scene, and then just said hi to someone, and then we connected that night, and she was with 2 other friends, and then we went out to a different after-hour spot and just had a good time over there. And
you had a threesome with these girls?
No, I didn't have a threesome.
Yeah.
Just hung out with this girl.
All right, so out of all the places that you've been to,
yeah,
tell me the place where you slept with the most women.
San Francisco.
No, I'm talking about overseas.
Oh, overseas?
Yes.
Well, this was before I was living in San Francisco or the Bay Area. So I visited San Francisco twice before moving here.
Okay.
So if it's gonna be a city, it would be San Francisco.
Well, I don't give a fuck about the states.
Right,
I'm talking about international shit.
The most girls?
Yes.
I mean, it's not like I went out a lot, so it would only be like once max for a country. So,
Okay.
like, and plus I'm only there 3 nights, and if I go out, it'll only be 1 night in that country.
So you never fuck like 3 bitches on the same one day?
Oh, let me see.
You never went to no brothel in Australia? Fucked the bitch, went out to eat, got horny again.
No, I don't think so. Was it a different girl?
Yes.
No. It's always been 1 max, I think.
Have you ever kept in contact? Do you keep in contact with the women that you meet on all these places?
Yeah, I mean, we just made a connection. Like, I don't chat with them or whatever like that. I don't like doing it because it just like ruins the experience that we had like while I was in the country. So I just like to reserve, like, you know, it happened. It was like a moment in Vietnam, and like I like to just like leave it as a moment in Vietnam and not, you know, there's no use in like, hey, how's it going? Like, how's your week going? Like,
so you never met a girl who was like, I'm a 90-day fiance this bitch?
No.
Okay.
So,
are you single now?
I am single.
What is your next destination you're traveling to?
I'm not even thinking about traveling. I took 9 trips this year, so I'm kind of
How the fuck do you get all this time off?
Actually, this trip that I did is the first time I used vacation. And then
So what the hell do you use?
It's all overtime. So any hours that we work at BART, over
so
40
you
hours.
have a choice between
Paid
or
vacation.
overtime. Okay, yeah.
So
That's a smart tactic. So
Yeah.
you must work a lot of overtime?
no, not a lot, but you know, when I do, I just put it to vacation time. They know me, like, I don't need to work a lot of weekends. There's a lot of people that want to work a lot of weekends because just they got like mortgages and house, like, families to look after. So I don't really have that dilemma. So I'd rather just enjoy the weekend as opposed to like working it.
Have you ever stumbled when you were traveling overseas in all these cities? Have you ever stumbled into like a bad neighborhood by accident? I remember when I went to Brazil, I was like right on the beach. You know where that fucking God statue is, right up on that mountain?
Yeah, Brazil everywhere is.
Yeah, so if you're on the beach, was it like resort? This like feels like a resort type shit.
Right.
It's nice, the beach, women. Then you walk up the street, like away from the beach, you're like in the slums.
Right. I went to one of those slums. It's called the favela. So it's called a Rocinha.
Yeah.
The Brazilians, they pronounce the R as an H. So it's actually worded out as Rocinha, but they pronounce it Rocinha. And I did a tour over there, and then you go with a local and around, and then like I was walking around, and then these cops just stopped these 2 kids on a bike, just like with their guns up. They're like, stop, you know, whatever. They're like, stop, like in Portuguese or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah.
You know, they were frisking him and stuff like that. So I'm like, yo, they got like military rifles. I'm like moving away and slowly, like, I'm not trying to get shot. So, like,
where the hell was this tour taking you? Just
around the favela. So you just get to see
try
the
see
life.
like how their life is.
Yeah, and then the money you put into the tour like funds the favela and like the community.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, it was just interesting to see, and like the guns coming out while we were on tour and stuff like that. Like, but the thing with the Rio de Janeiro, like the very dangerous areas are like the touristy areas where, because the people from the favela or like the poor areas, they'll go to the statue or like Copacabana Beach, and then they will they will target you, especially if you
did a bunch of kids. I remember when I was out there, like there's kids everywhere, like asking for shit, trying to sell.
Did you see them jump on the bus like through the window?
Yeah, they do that shit too. And then when you try to you're like, yeah, I'll give you some change. And then once you pull out, there'll be like one kid come up to you. Then you pull out some change.
Yeah.
The next, in the blink of an eye, there's like 20 kids surrounding you.
Right.
Going through your pockets and shit.
Did you have a lot of people? I mean, you and I actually passed as like Brazilians, I would imagine. I know I didn't.
No.
I think you would.
I didn't pass as a Brazilian.
I think you would. So
I
mean,
didn't
we're
pass
not
as a Brazilian because of the way I dressed.
That may be it, but
Like when I was in Paris, they knew I wasn't from Paris. There's a lot of Africans in Paris, but they knew I was like an American black dude because of the way I dressed.
right.
Like and it's, you can tell like the way they dress, the way the black Africans dress in Paris
Right.
is different from. You can just, I don't know, it's just something that you can fucking tell.
Right. Yeah.
But yeah, Brazil was.
They
was
sell
fucking
iPhones
crazy.
over there for 4,000. So, like, yeah, that's why they want to rob iPhones out there. But I was hiking with someone and he got held at knife point for his iPhone. So, but he looks like he's from like San Francisco, like blonde hair, blue eyes, type thing. So, there's just easy targets over there.
Have you ever? Well, you know, prostitution is legal all over these places in other countries. Have you ever dabbled in that?
I haven't done any of the prostitution. I have done. So let me tell you
never
the story
bought
of
some coochie.
no, not coochie.
We can edit this out. You can say yes.
No, well, so let me tell you the story.
I'm not gonna edit out.
No. So while in Thailand, I would do most of my walking and stuff in Thailand. Like wake up at 8 a.m., 8 p.m., walk 10 miles a day. So the thing with Thailand, like they have a lot of massage parlors. So every day I would get like a leg and foot massage just to like, just to relax from the walking. And like the walking I'm going to be doing,
Yeah.
the day after and stuff like that. And then I went from the regular leg, like this is my first time getting a massage, actually in Thailand. And then I did the leg one, and then I moved on to like the shoulder and neck and stuff. That felt really good. They like crack like in ways that I don't know how they do that, but it was just amazing. And then I went to Chiang Mai, which is northern Thailand, and I'm out of my Airbnb. I call an Uber. They don't have Uber over there. They have Grab. So just the FYI. So I called the Grab over, and it's a scooter. So it's an e-bike. It's not a car. It's an e-bike. And then some woman from across the street was like, "Hey, handsome, come over here. I know what you want." And I'm like, "Okay."
This is Brazil?
This is Thailand.
Thailand, okay.
This is on this trip. So I walk over, and I'm like, wait, hold on. This is Thailand. Like, they're not just known for their regular massage parlors. They have the special ones with like, the happy endings and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So, and I'm just like, wait, this might be one of those like, massage parlors.
She was telling you to come and get a massage?
So I'll continue with the story. So I walk over, and then she's like, "I know what you want. Do you want a blowjob or do you want a hand job?" And I'm like,
Is she speaking English?
"Yeah,
Like clear English?
yeah, clear English."
Okay.
She's like, "Hey, handsome, do you want a hand job?" And I'm like, "Yeah, why not? Yeah, I'll do it." Why not? I'm in Thailand, right? So, and then, like, that's the first time I asked that, said that. So,
Okay.
and then I'll continue.
Yeah.
So, I'm like, "How much is it I was curious. I'm like, "How much is it for a hand job?" And she's like, "I'm changing the currency here." She's like, $25 for a hand job. So, and this is the first time I've...
So that's a good deal.
Yeah,
That's what you're saying?
So I'm like, $20. And she's like, no, $25. And I'm like, no, it's $20. And she's like, it'll only be $20 if you just get the hand job and no massage. And I'm like, wait, there's an option for that? Like, you could just go in, straight in, and like not get the massage? Like, this was like Saturday night, so I didn't want to be all oiled up anyways, so... So, So we agreed to that, and then it was just like, it was a life-changing moment. It was just like, the reason why I wanted to mention the story was like, if you're a single dude and if you don't have a serious relationship right now and are not married, you have to go to Thailand to one of these massage parlors. It's just like life-changing. It's like they completely, they know what they're doing, like completely different. And then like, the whole thing was over, and I'm like, I get out the massage parlor and I'm like ready to go for dinner, like as I was initially planning to.
Wait, time out.
Oh, okay, this guy.
So, so you guys come to agreement on the price and all that shit. So she takes you into the building.
Yeah, and they're playing like massage parlor music and all that stuff. So like,
you didn't get a massage. You just got a hand job?
They have the regular massage chairs in the bottom floor, and then upstairs is where like the special shit goes on.
Okay. So you go upstairs. Was there a shit ton of guys up there?
Nah, I didn't see any guys.
Okay.
Or hear anything else.
So you're telling me she literally just gave you a hand job and that was it?
That's it. And I was good to go.
Like, yeah, I'm trying to fuck. You didn't say that?
I actually don't know. I wouldn't want to do that even if that was an option, just because of sanitary issues and shit. Like even, yeah. I'm just good with a hand job. Okay. So
after the hand job, you leave.
Yep. And I'm like walking down the street, like, like a big smile on my face, and then everyone on the street was like, "It's probably this guy's first like massage parlor experience." So yeah,
that's crazy. So you all right? So Thailand, I got a bunch of questions on Thailand. So did you see any? What are they called? She boys?
Yeah, they're around over there too as well. But I mean, you could.
I heard they're like popular. That's like the thing they do out there. Like,
I'm not sure. And they got the thing I found out after the fact is the whole ping pong ball thing. You heard about that?
I heard about that. What the fuck is that?
It's when they
sound like some weird shit.
It's like it's a show. It's like they put it in the vagina and then they just shoot it out.
And there's a guy on the other side.
I don't know who's on the other side, but it's like a show, and I didn't know about it until I left Thailand.
Oh, so you didn't see it?
I didn't see it. I just heard about it. So I'm just like completely focused on like just traveling, and like last minute I find out about these massage parlors and stuff.
So you're saying so Thailand is like the craziest place that you've been to as far as like sex and all that shit?
Yeah, I mean that's the only place where I like.
You know what I'm saying? Was that the place as far as like seeing like crazy shit going on?
So sexual wise?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say so, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Have you been to Tijuana before?
I have not been to Tijuana. No.
Have you heard about the donkey show in Tijuana?
I have not heard about the donkey show.
Do you want to hear about the donkey show?
Sure.
The donkey show in Tijuana. Well, Tijuana is known for this donkey show, right?
Tijuana is right across the border from
San Diego.
San Diego, that's right.
You can literally walk across the border.
Okay, that's Tijuana.
So they're known for this thing, for this donkey show, and basically it's a donkey. This girl is like sucking the donkey's dick and is like trying to fuck the donkey. So that's basically what the donkey show is.
Okay.
A lot of people go to Tijuana to see that.
Huh.
But anyway, I never saw it because, you know what I'm saying, I'm really big on animal rights.
You gotta be around here.
All right, so have you ever been to China before?
Even though it's not the same thing, I've been to Hong Kong. Which is supposed to be China in about 30 years.
All right, so all these places that you've been, did you experience any negativity as far as being an American in these countries?
The only negativity, you're going to laugh at this because you're just going to laugh at this. Australia is so racist, in my opinion, just because of the experience. They actually called me a black cunt
In Australia?
in Australia. So I just like when the dude said it, I'm like I laughed because I'm like, I mean, I'm not that. I mean, I'm kind of dark, but like, you know, like
Stop
a
looking
black
at the camera,
cunt.
motherfucker.
So my bad. Yeah, black cunts. That's kind of far fetched. So that was
Who the fuck called you that? Cab driver or something?
No. So I met this dude in Barcelona. He's from Australia, and then we were just talking about like how we were going to travel the world and all this and that. And then he ended up having a baby and got married and stuff. So, and he's not happy with his situation. So, you know, when you wanted to travel, but now you got a kid and a girl now, he sees like what I'm doing and kind of like took that shit out on me. I know it's not my, like, I know why he's mad. So I'm like, hey, let me come visit you when I go to Australia. And then he's like, you don't really want to like visit me. You're just using me and stuff like that. I'm like, what are you talking about? So he was just like,
Is this over the phone or?
This is over Facebook Messenger.
Okay.
And then like he just got real heated for no reason.
So he didn't say it face to face to you?
Nah, he just wrote it out. I actually have it screenshotted. Yeah.
What's his name?
His name is Daryl.
Daryl what?
Man.
That's not his last name. That's his last name for real?
It's with 2 N's.
Daryl Mann?
Yeah.
From Australia?
From Australia, Sydney.
All right, Daryl Mann. Everyone's gonna find you on Facebook and comment. Blow his page up. He's racist. Blow his page up.
I mean, they're all pretty. And that's
I didn't
like
experience racism when I was in Australia.
Really?
No.
Where'd you go?
I was in Melbourne.
Okay. Interesting.
I just felt like it was fucking America, basically.
Yeah.
I mean, when you're in Australia, you don't feel like you're. I mean, you know you're in another country, but it doesn't feel like because everything is so similar to fucking. Everyone speaks English. Everything's in English.
There's actually one more country that's more obese than America. You know which country that is?
No.
Australia. For some reason, I don't know
More
why.
obese?
Right.
Like people-wise?
People-wise.
I didn't see a lot of obese people when I went.
Yeah. Well, you can't.
I've seen a lot of monks.
Well, you can't really judge it from Melbourne or.
Where were you in Australia? Sydney?
Yeah. It's like judging America from New York City and San Francisco.
Yeah.
Can't really do that.
Yeah. So you'll never go back to Australia?
I mean, there's other places I want to visit now. Maybe I mean, it's nice places. That's the first time I surfed over there.
Okay.
So, but it's just ironic that like usually I get like, but like with Turkish people, like we're not Arabic, so we can't get called, you know, sand people or whatever like that. I mean, we're not black. Are we like, I don't know, we don't really have a term. So we like the only term that I got called is black cunt. So
do you speak any other languages? Yeah,
I speak Turkish. I studied French, Spanish, Italian. I studied Arabic for 2 months. It was a little bit difficult. So
you said you are not thinking about traveling. Do you have a place that's on your bucket list?
Yeah, so I'm saving Japan.
Oh, you said no, you didn't say Amsterdam, right? Amsterdam's not on your bucket list.
Amsterdam's on the list, but I don't know when I'm going. Depends on when the team plays over there. I got Japan coming up in spring for cherry blossom. That's in April and May. I got to wake up at 5 a.m. tomorrow to look up tickets for the European soccer tournament that's going on next summer. So that'll be in either Rome or Azerbaijan. So I'll look at those, and then I'm definitely going back to Chiang Mai, Thailand next November. So
I'm coming with you in November.
Anyone else wants to join, you're welcome to as well.
All right, so when you travel to all these places, do you experience the local foods?
Yeah,
and all that?
definitely.
What was the best place that had the best food to you?
The best place to have the best food.
Or the best country?
I mean, they all got their own different like dishes. So, northern Thailand, they had this thing called khao soy, which is really good. So I'm actually looking up places in San Francisco to try that out. It's like a noodle. It's noodle dish with chicken. That's really good. In Vietnam, they have egg coffee, which is really good.
Explain these dishes, man.
What
the fuck is egg coffee?
Egg coffee is coffee with
eggs?
With egg in it. Yeah, it's really good.
They just crack the egg and put it in the coffee?
Yeah, and it tastes like a French vanilla cappuccino.
Nasty.
I know. And
with the yolk and all that in it?
Yeah, it's so good. Like you don't think it's gonna be good. That's why I liked it so much. Like,
is it served hot?
Yeah, or you could get cold, or you could get with chocolate, whatever.
Do they stir it or just throw the egg in there?
You're supposed to stir it from like bottom top.
Okay.
There's that. In Austria, there was good food like Wiener Schnitzel. It's like veal with.
Wiener Schnitzel is in America, motherfucker.
Yes.
Wiener Schnitzel.
So there's that. What else?
Have you ever ate like some crazy, like if you ever ate
spiders,
dog or, like dolphin or something?
No, I don't do that. Or llama or spiders or cockroaches. They did that a lot in Thailand.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm like kind of picky, so I don't. I know like Anthony Bourdain when he watches shows, like he just eats everything.
Yeah.
It's tough for me to do that because I'm kind of picky.
So you're not like a foodie.
I am, but like it's only with stuff that I'm comfortable with. So.
How do you know when you go to these places? How do you, if you never had this shit, how do you know what to order?
Just looking at the texture and like if it smells like durian, for example, it just like looks weird and smells weird.
What's that?
It's like the fruit they have that's predominant in Southeast Asia. So it just I didn't even try it. It just looked weird and just smelled weird. It smelled like onions and stuff. So yeah.
All right. Well, this is the point of the show where I let my guests promote themselves or whatever they want to promote or whatever they want to talk about. Are you working on anything, or tell the people how to find you on social media, how to reach out to you for like advice, travel advice, and what you're working on currently?
Yeah, so you could, Jordan's got me tagged up on the stories and posts, so you could hit me up on Instagram. It's V Turgut, VTVRGVT. And you could hit me up with advice, or you could go on his page and ask me like questions on his page too as well. I'm not really working on anything. I'm just doing what I like, which is traveling and just posting it for my close friends. That's the whole idea with Instagram. But if you have questions on, it's like my friend VB today, like he had a question about going to Peru during the spring, and it's kind of iffy because it rains a lot. That's rainy season for that. So, if you have any other questions, just hit me up. Yeah, but I'm not really promoting myself. I'm here to promote Jordan and his thing. So, yeah, that's about it.
Have you ever thought about starting like a traveling vlog?
You know what? Like my friend was like, you need to start an Instagram because you're doing all this like travel shit, and you need you could get a lot of followers and all that. And I'm like, that's not what
Instagram. You need like a visual.
What's that?
You need like a TV show on YouTube.
Yeah. YouTube. Someone actually mentioned YouTube channel too as well on the trip, but it's a lot more work. Like I'm just doing what I'm doing and just posting it online. It's no different from someone hanging out with their cat or like dog or like what food they cook up and just post it on Instagram. So
yeah.
I could, but I started late too as well. I just got Instagram on like 2017, so I don't want no like random people just coming and checking, what I'm up to. It's just for my close friends like you and some other cats that are not on Facebook. So that's why I just started Instagram up, to keep in touch with them too as well, and not only to keep in touch with me, but.
All right, tell the people your Instagram again. Spell it out slowly.
VTVRGVT. I didn't start the name to give it out to people, so it's kind of difficult, but I'm sure it's tagged in the post that Jordan puts up.
All right, well, yes, thank you to Volkan, the world-famous international traveler, for coming on today's episode of Everyday Celebrity Podcast.
And thank you as well.
Yeah, you can find me, Everyday Celebrity Media, CO on Instagram, or Jordan Owandi on Instagram, or everydaycelebritymedia.com, or Everyday Celebrity PO on Twitter. Go on the website, you know what I'm saying, or just go on to Instagram and look for shit that's coming soon. This company's brand new, but we're growing rapidly. Like I said, we are the #1 podcast in the Bay Area, and we're about to go global. Check out the merch. Merch is coming soon. Check out Bay Area Bites, YouTube TV show. That's coming soon, 2020. So what I'm saying, yeah, just be on the lookout. 2020 is a big year. I'm probably going to do one more episode, and then I'm going to go on a little Christmas break. For y'all fans who are like checking for me, I might take like a little month off.
Much needed.
Yeah, so thanks again to Volkan. You got anything else to say?
No, that's it.
All right, that's it.
Thank you.
You.